Up first, Cornerstone Wellness Center. Back to talk all things neuropathy and how they can help reverse those symptoms and pains. As always, joining me, Dr. Doug Kane, a.k.a. the Neuropathy Doctor. Dr. Kane, it's a pleasure to have you back here on Listens Live.
Always nice to be here.
Yeah, and today it's special because we've got you for 2 segments, even more things to talk about in ways that you can help reverse some of those chronic symptoms of neuropathy, but also just when it comes down to it, changing somebody's life or even just reverting it back to a life they were living before. And you've got different ways that you can do that. So again, thank you so much. Neuropathy, though, it's something that affects so many people. I know it's more prevalent in some populations, specifically older populations, than others. But for you, having gotten into this a little over short of a decade ago, around a decade ago, it's something that you've essentially dedicated a large portion of your life to, and you've seen the impact that you've been able to create. Talk about that and what neuropathy is, you know, from a perspective from the clinical side, but also how you're able to step in and help people who may be struggling with that.
Yeah, well, you know, it all starts out with you don't know what you don't know. And when every healthcare professional you talk to says there's nothing that can be done for neuropathy, and I would have told you that for the first 25 years of practice, and then you learn that, well, yes, you can do some things to help reverse this, to get actually at the root cause, as opposed to masking it with ablation or gabapentin or other medications. And then, you know, when you see how that works for people, you just feel a calling to, hey, you need to share this with your community. And so that's what we've been able to do. Neuropathy, simply put, at the heart of it is your nerves just aren't working the way they should be. They're not connecting to the brain. They're not communicating properly. There's a couple of different types. Small fiber neuropathy. So this is your pain. This is your feet are on fire, or they're frozen, or the pins and needles, or the feels like the bugs are crawling. You can't stand anything to touch your feet. It ruins your sleep at night. And then we have large fiber neuropathy, and that is where we get the numbness and the balance issues because we can't feel our feet. And so with the balance issues, fall risk is a big thing. And as you said in the opening, yeah, generally it is, you know, the Medicare age or older. We do have some people that have had, you know, maybe uncontrolled diabetes, or they had chemotherapy, and so, you know, they're younger than that, maybe in their 40s or 50s. But yeah, the studies show that 49% of people 70 or older have some degree of neuropathy.
You talk about not knowing what you don't know, and one of the things is, you know, when you know you have neuropathy, you're not super worried about what causes it so much as you're just trying to get it fixed at that point. But for someone who doesn't realize that they have neuropathy, but they very well do, what are some of those causes? What are some of the more chronic symptoms that lead to that somebody watching may think, oh, well, I fall under this bucket. Maybe that pain that I'm feeling is neuropathy.
Yeah, excellent point. So probably 50% of the patients that come to us have already been diagnosed by their primary doctor, maybe a neurologist, and the other 50% haven't. They may hear me talking on this show or a commercial or something on Facebook, and they say, well, you know, I've got those symptoms. I've got that pain. I've got that numbness or tingling. And as I've said before, for most people, one of the very first symptoms is they feel like there's a wrinkle in their sock, but there actually isn't. Or they'll feel like, we've heard it described as they feel like they're walking on cotton balls, or the bottom of their feet feels like it's made of leather, just all kinds of abnormal sensation. And sometimes, because we have other friends our age that are talking about the same things, we just chalk it up to part of aging. And that's not necessarily the case. But yeah, to answer your question, there's 140 different causes in the medical literature, according to Johns Hopkins, that can lead to neuropathy. Diabetes being by far the most common. Chemotherapy-induced neuropathy is the second most common. We kind of group together orthopedic-related neuropathy, so people that have had back injuries, back surgeries, hip replacement and knee replacements can sometimes affect the nerves that go to the feet. I talk about feet a lot. It also happens in the hands too, especially with chemotherapy, but it can actually affect any nerve in the body.
Yeah, the furthest from the heart, though, generally is going to be something that you're going to see the effects maybe a little more quickly, Absolutely. So let's say, that first step for someone is either visiting mydrkane.com, calling or texting 812-949-0900. You can do that right now. You can wait 5 minutes, but really don't wait that much longer if you think this is something that can help you. The second step would be actually visiting you at Cornerstone. What does that look like once that they make that decision to maybe try to make a change in their life, and then they walk through that door at Cornerstone?
So the first thing we're going to do is start with a very in-depth consultation. We'll move to an examination. There's 7 different types of nerves that are involved in neuropathy. We test all 7 of those, and we get a composite score that tells us how much sensory loss that you have suffered, and that's our baseline. We'll do a set of x-rays because so much of this can be spine mediated to some degree, and so we want to make sure that that we know if that is or is not part of the problem, because that makes a difference in what that person's treatment program is going to look like. It's different for everybody. There's obviously some similarities. There's a couple of pieces of FDA cleared equipment that is kind of the heart of the program. People will use this on their own at home. We have a proprietary nutritional program that goes along with this, and that we want to make sure that your body's got the best building blocks it can, so it can heal the best it can, the fastest that it can. There's some holes in the standard American diet that pro-inflammatory, a lot of the ultra-processed stuff that we eat. So we're going to work with that a little bit so we can maximize that person's healing potential. And then we have other things in the office like SoftWave.
You read my mind. I was about to say the technology at the office, top notch.
Yes.
Different ways that you can utilize the resources available to them through Cornerstone.
Absolutely. We are always looking for what's going to work the best. And here we see Ireland, our SoftWave tech. She's doing SoftWave on this patient's foot. It's amazing to watch how quickly someone's foot will pink up after they've had, circulation issues over the years. The first gentleman we ever did this on cried. I thought, oh gosh, did we hurt him? And he said, no, you don't understand. That's the first thing I've been able to feel in my feet in 20 years. I didn't think I would ever feel anything in my feet again. And so, yeah, we're always adding that new technology. We do decompression, non-surgical spinal decompression in the office for people that have, disc issues that are contributing to this. We can add some gentle chiropractic care if we feel like that's warranted and if that's something the patient wants to do. No, chiropractic's not everybody's cup of tea, and if that's the case, that will not make that part of the treatment program.
Yeah, so again, Dr. Kane sticking around for one more segment, and this next segment, we're going to give you a chance to talk about some of those testimonials. We've got some people that have come to you and had their life changed, and we're going to let you walk through those, and you'll want to stick around to hear just how much that life was able to change. And thanks to some help from Dr. Kane and Cornerstone Wellness. We'll be right back to talk more.